What's poppin', homies? It's your favorite homegirl gospel. Let's get into this commentary. Hey, homies. So, I have some information about the mother of Salvador Ramos. Her name is Adriana Reyes. And she said that her son wasn't violent, but he could be aggressive. So, let's go ahead and get into that. So, the mother of the 18-year-old maniac who gunned down 19 children and 2 teachers at Texas elementary school insisted he wasn't a violent person, even though she was uneasy about his rage. So you saying he wasn't a violent person, but you yourself was uneasy about his rage. He wasn't a violent person. I feel like her and her son had a lot of arguments, and I feel like he roughed her up some. And because this type of behavior just don't happen overnight. And yes, he was bullied, but more things had to happen to him in his life for him to get to this point. You get what I'm saying? Because he was bullied in high school. Those kids at Robb Elementary School had nothing to do with him being bullied. Those were innocent children, innocent people, innocent adults that had nothing to do with him being bullied. And then here's the mother, because I was waiting for somebody in the family to say something. Here's the mother saying that he wasn't a violent person, which I don't even believe. This young man, 18 years old, had something going on. Whether they saw it or not, he had other things going on. Because there's no way in the heck what just happened out of the blue. Okay? He has issues with his mother. He probably has issues with his father. And he stayed with his grandmother. He was mad at his own grandmother because he didn't graduate. That's not her fault. He had some deep-rooted issues that was not taken care of. But anyway, but she felt uneasy about his rage. So he probably spazzed out on her. But yet he wasn't violent. Okay. So Adriana Reyes told ABC News that her mass murdering son, Salvador Ramos, responsible for the second deadliest school shooting in U.S. history, was not a monster. Still, she admitted she had an uneasy feeling sometimes, like, what are you up to? He can be aggressive if he got really, mad. She admitted of her son, who started buying the deadly arsenal he used the day after he turned 18 last week. We all have a rage, she told the outlet from her home. Some people have it more than others. She had earlier downplayed those concerns in an interview with the Daily Mail. My son wasn't a violent person. I'm surprised by what he did, she had told the outlet earlier on Wednesday. She said her son was a loner who kept to himself and didn't have many friends. Now, however, she denied having a violent relationship with her son, even though Ramos' grandfather told ABC News that the teen was living with him and his wife because he had problems with his mother. So the mother is lying about something, because the grandfather said that the reason why Salvador came to live with them is because he had issues with his mom. So what is it she's hiding? Was she abusive to Salvador? So what is she hiding? Because she's saying that he's not a monster and all this kind of stuff, but then he didn't, but she felt uneasy around him. What happened between these two? Did she beat on him? Did she mistreat him? Because why would he leave his mom to go stay with his grandparents? So they didn't have a perfect relationship. Now, according to reports, Adriana struggled with drug use and had kicked her troubled son out of her home, forcing him to move with his grandmother, whom he shot in the face before his unthinkable rampage. So wait a minute. I knew he shot his grandmother, but oh my God, he shot her in the face. Jesus. She's still in the hospital. The grandmother is still in the hospital. Now, the mom told the news outlet that she last spoke to her son on Monday last week on his birthday, and he had a card and a Snoopy stuffed animal to give to him. Now, despite defending her son, the mom had tears in her eyes when discussing the 19 children he murdered alongside their 2 teachers. Those kids, I have no words, she said. I don't know what to say about those poor kids. She also told the news outlet that she would pray for those families. Baby, those families need more than prayers. Okay? Now, I understand that's your son and he did this terrible thing, but you got to understand, there's something was going on with this boy, and it started from home. Now that we know she was on drugs, she could have been abusing him, or whatever it was. We don't know because she's not going to tell us everything, but they had a troubled relationship. Their relationship was troubled. And he left there to go stay with his grandmother. Anybody who could shoot their own grandparents, and especially the ones that took them in, and he shot his grandmother in the face, doesn't need to be on this earth anyway. Okay? And he's not. He took 19 sweet lives, 2 teachers, a total of 21 people. He knew he couldn't buy any guns at 17, so he waited till his 18th birthday and he purchased guns. He was a loner. They keep saying he was bullied in school. Well, let me just say this. If he was bullied in school and he knew who the person was bullying him, why didn't he take care of the bullies? Why did he have to go and bother these children? Why did he have to go to Robb Elementary School and murder these children and the staff? Why couldn't he took out his anger on the bullies? Because that's the ones who was doing it to him, right? And I'm not saying, don't get it twisted for what I'm saying. I'm not saying that that would have been right for him to shoot and kill anybody, but he took his anger out on the wrong people. Robb Elementary School students and staff had nothing to do with him being bullied. Had nothing to do with him and his mother's relationship. When you are mad with somebody, you take out your anger on the person you're mad at. No one else should have to pay for anything for what that person that bullied you did to you. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he should have went to the high school and tore it up. No, that's not what I'm saying, because still, he would have took innocent lives. But these babies had nothing to do with him being bullied. The staff members that lost their lives had nothing to do with him being bullied. I just don't understand why he couldn't catch the damn bully himself and beat the hell out of him or whatever he had to do. Why do this? He had issues with his mother. His mother, she was on drugs at a point in her life. Kicked him out. He went to go stay with his grandmother. So yes, him and his mother had a troubled relationship. And maybe he's one of those people, like, you know what? He didn't feel love. He didn't feel cared for. So he don't care. Because I guarantee you, he had in his mind that he wasn't going to make it back from this. He knew he wasn't going to make it back from this. Oh, man. It's like, wow. Ramos massacre is the second worst school shooting in U.S. history, behind only the 2012 massacre at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newton, Connecticut, that left 20 youngsters and 6 educators dead. Evil has swept across Uvalde yesterday, Texas Governor Greg Abbott said Wednesday. Anyone who shoots his own grandmother in the face has to have evil in his heart. But it's far more evil for someone to gun down little kids. That's the type of evil that, like I said, that does not need to be on this earth. He shot his own grandmother in the face. a person that took him in, okay? Mad because he didn't graduate high school. He didn't graduate, okay? Mad because him and his mother relationship is nothing. Mad because he had been bullied in school because the way he looked, he didn't have, the nicer clothes, but you were working at Wendy's. If you feel like you didn't have the nicer clothes, why you didn't buy yourself the nicer clothes? There's no excuse for what he did. There is no excuse for what this boy has done. So what's going to be done about these gun laws? What's going to be done about the gun violence? How are we going to stop this? It's absolutely ridiculous. It's just sad. It's just really, really sad that all these children, 19 children and 2 adults, 21 people in total, 21 people total, are gone because of Salvador Ramos. It's just sad. It is really, really sad. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I read an article that the funeral homes are offering free services for all the victims for the victims that happened in the massacre victims. So this funeral parlor is going to be doing free services for the massacre victims in Texas. And so, when somebody do something, more things come out about them. You notice that, right? When one thing happened, more stuff comes out about the person that it's about. Now, it says here that the gunman, right, reportedly exhibit increasingly bizarre behavior leading up to the rampage, including cutting up his face with knives just for fun, his friend said. Now, Salvador Ramos' friend, Santos Valdez Jr., who's also 18, said the two had been close, playing video games and basketball regularly until his friend's behavior began to deteriorate. He said at one point he recounted Ramos showed up at the park with scratch marks across his face and said he had been attacked by a cat. Then he told me the truth, that he'd been cutting up his face with knives over and over and over. I was like, you're crazy, bro. Why would you do that? He said Ramos told him it was just for fun. So this guy he's off his rockers anyway. At school, he told classmates he cut himself because because I like how it looks. Valdez said he last interacted with Ramos just 2 hours before the attack at Robb Elementary School. The two messaged on Instagram, where Valdez reshared a meme that said, "Why the F is school still open?" according to the Washington Post, which reported that Ramos replied, "Facts, and that's good though, right?" Valdez reportedly wrote, "I don't even know. I don't even go to school, LMAO." But Ramos never responded to the message or even opened it, he said. Valdez also described how Ramos used to drive around with another pal and shoot people at random with a BB gun and also egg people's cars. This guy was just off the chain. Off the chain. He also said Ramos last year posted on social media images of automatic rifles that he would have on his wish list. And a few days ago, he posted photos of 2 rifles he referred to as "my gun picks," the paper reported. Friends and relatives also said Ramos had been bullied throughout middle school for a speech impediment, a stutter and lisp. His cousin Mia said she saw students mocking his impediment during middle school, where he tried at first to ignore the bullying, but then told his grandmother that he wasn't going back to school. He wasn't very much a social person after being bullied for the stuttering, said Mia, who declined to provide her last name. I think he just didn't feel comfortable anymore at school. Childhood friend Stephen Garcia told the paper that Ramos would get bullied hard, like bullied by a lot of people over social media, over gaming, over everything. He was the nicest kid, the most shyest kid. He just needed to break out of his shell, he said, adding that Ramos was once subjected to, homophobic slurs after posting a photo of him wearing black eyeliner. Garcia said he tried to defend his friend before moving with his mother to another part of the state for her job. He just started being a different person. He kept getting worse and worse, and I don't even know. He told the paper, he said Ramos began wearing all black, walked in large military boots, and grew out his hair. Now, Nadia Reyes, another high school classmate, told the paper that Ramos recently posted on Instagram story of himself yelling at his mom, who he said was trying to kick him out of their home. He posted videos on his Instagram where the cops were there, and he called his mom a B and said she wanted to kick him out. He'd be screaming and talking to his mom really aggressively. Ramos' neighbor, Ruben Flores, said he tried to be kind, like to be a kind of father figure to him, because he had a pretty rough life with his mom. That's crazy. It's like when one thing happened with somebody, a lot of things about them start to come out, and I can't help to wonder if people knew about this stuff, would it have made a difference to get him some help if he was going through so much problems and so many things that this wouldn't have happened today? Wow. He said she told him she was in the process of evicting Ramos' mother because of her drug issues. So Ramos moved to his grandmother's home across town a few months ago, according to Flores, who said he last saw the grandmother Sunday when she stopped by the mom's Hood Street apartment property, which she also owned. And then he shoots his grandmother in the face. The same person that tried to help him. Ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Well, this stuff has really given me a headache. It's stressful because it's like these poor babies, man. These poor babies. And not only just the babies at the school, the adults, the two women that, that died. Oh my God. Do you know what those other kids, they might need counseling after witnessing all that stuff, after going through all of that. The surviving children and even the staff, they're going to need counseling after this. Oh my goodness. Just my heart just, aches for those families. It really does. My heart just aches for those families. Well, we heard from, Ramos' mom and the grandfather. The grandmother's still in the hospital, suffering from a gunshot wound to the face. But where's his father? Obviously, the father's not in his life. Does he know that, what his son has done? All right, you guys, that's all I have on this. There is another story that I want to talk about because there was another scare that happened, and I'll get to that later on as soon as I find out more information about it. All right, so you guys have a good one, and I'll talk to you later.